Every time someone doubts you, underestimates you, or tells you that you're not enough, you're being handed a gift. Not a curse, not an insult, a gift. Because there's something profoundly powerful in being doubted. Doubt strips away illusions. It reveals who believes in you and who never did. It clears the noise, sharpens your focus, and forces you to choose. Will you let their words break you? Or will you use them to ignite a fire so intense that even your failures burn with purpose? Every time someone says you can't, they hand you another log to throw in your fire. Every time they count you out, they hand you more fuel. You have to learn how to take every ounce of negativity and alchemize it into drive. Because the most dangerous person is the one the world thought would stay down, but chose to rise instead. You see, doubt is often disguised as protection. People will say they're just being realistic, that they're looking out for you, that they don't want you to get hurt. But in reality, their doubt is a reflection of their own limitations, not yours. They speak from their fears, their insecurities, and their own failures. And if you're not careful, you'll start adopting their mindset like it's your own. But you got to learn how to separate their fears from your truth. Just because they couldn't doesn't mean you can't. Just because they gave up when it got hard doesn't mean you have to. Just because they never saw it done doesn't mean you can't be the first. Let their doubt become your challenge. Let it become the weight you carry until your strength outgrows it. Doubt creates pressure, and pressure is the birthplace of diamonds. It's under pressure that you discover your real capacity, your true grit. When no one believes in you but you, that's where resilience is born. That's where champions are made. When the world says you won't and your soul responds, watch me. That's power. That's purpose. That's the spark that ignites a fire no one can put out. You don't need cheerleaders. You don't need applause. You don't need people to clap for you while you're building. Because when you build with doubt pressing on your back, you build with discipline. You build with rage and with vision. You build with a purpose that cuts through excuses. Doubt doesn't have to be your enemy. It can be the tool that sharpens your will and carves your path through the storm. What most people don't realize is that the loudest doubt doesn't come from others. It comes from within. That quiet voice that whispers, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not good enough. That internal war is the real battle. The moment you decide that their doubt won't define your decisions, that's when you take back your power. When you face your own doubt and look it dead in the eye and say, I'm going anyway, you shift from being reactive to unstoppable. You're not just pushing against others now. You're overpowering the version of yourself that used to hesitate, that used to break under pressure, that used to need permission to be great. And once you do that, no voice outside of you holds any real weight. Greatness has always been born in the shadows of disbelief. Every trailblazer, every pioneer, every world changer, at some point, they were told it couldn't be done, that they weren't capable, that they were too weak, too different, too ambitious, but they didn't shrink in the face of that doubt. They rose because of it. They heard the laughter, the mockery, the silence of support, and still moved forward. You have that same power. It's not about proving anyone wrong out of spite. It's about showing yourself what you're made of. It's about choosing fire over fear, fuel over frustration. It's about waking up every day and saying, thank you for not believing in me, because now I believe in myself more than ever. And don't be mistaken, this isn't about ego. This is about transformation. This is about choosing to turn your pain into power, your doubts into drive. Every time they reject you, every time they leave you out, every time they laugh when you speak your dream into existence, they are unknowingly handing you the very thing you need, resistance. And resistance is the force that builds muscle, mental toughness, and heart. You don't grow in comfort. You grow in tension. And doubt is the tension that stretches you toward destiny. So when it comes, don't hide from it. Don't fear it. Welcome it. Let it fuel the fire you carry within. The fire that refuses to be extinguished, no matter how dark the world becomes. In a world obsessed with noise, where everyone is constantly trying to be seen, trying to be heard, trying to prove something to everyone around them, the real power lies in silence. Because silence is not weakness. It's restraint. It's discipline. It's choosing to let your actions speak for you when words would only water down your purpose. There is an undeniable strength in staying quiet while you're building, growing, healing, and transforming. While the world debates, distracts, and doubts, you operate in stealth. You move with quiet intention. You focus on results, not recognition, because those who are truly locked in don't need to announce every step. They let their success speak so loudly that it drowns out every voice that once said they couldn't. People will try to pull you into conversations that have nothing to do with your mission. They'll provoke you. They'll challenge you. They'll bait you into proving yourself with words, arguments, or ego. But that's a trap, because the second you waste energy trying to convince them, you've already lost momentum. Every explanation you give, every debate you engage in takes your eyes off your purpose and puts it on their opinions. Like silence keeps you grounded. It forces you to be inwardly focused, locked into the grind, unmoved by validation or criticism. And that's where transformation happens, in the quiet spaces, away from the applause, when no one is watching, when it's just you and the work. When you choose silence, you take away the power of others to interpret or misinterpret your journey. You protect your energy from being scattered. You protect your ideas from premature judgment. Not everyone deserves access to your process. Not everyone has earned the right to see your progress while it's still raw and unfinished. Silence is your fortress. It shields your vision from the noise of opinions, from the contamination of doubt, from the chaos of external influence. You're not hiding because you're afraid. You're silent because you're building something too valuable to expose to the world before it's ready. Think about the seed buried beneath the soil. It doesn't make noise when it breaks through the shell. It doesn't announce to the world, look at me, I'm growing. It simply does what it was created to do, quietly, consistently, relentlessly. And one day, it breaks through the surface, not with noise, but with undeniable proof that growth has happened. That's the same power you hold when you embrace silence. You grow beneath the surface. You prepare in the dark. And when the time is right, your progress becomes undeniable. Not because you said it would, but because you showed up every day when no one was watching. There's a sacredness to the silent season. It's uncomfortable, lonely, and often misunderstood. People will question your absence. They'll mock your quietness. They'll assume you've given up or disappeared, but they don't realize you're not gone. You're evolving. You're not lost. You're locked in. The silent season is where champions are formed. It's where pain becomes power, where discipline becomes a habit, and where focus becomes your weapon. Let them talk. Let them guess. Let them assume. Because when it's time, your results will silence every question, every doubt, every critic. And that silence will echo louder than anything you could have said with words. So keep your head down. Keep your mouth shut. Keep working. Your silence is not a sign of weakness. It's a weapon. It's a mindset. It's the ultimate strategy. While others chase applause, you chase excellence. While they talk about goals, you become them. While they scream for validation, you prepare for elevation. And when the moment comes, when all the noise fades and all eyes are forced to see what you've built, your silence will have spoken volumes. ChatGPT said, life will hit you hard. It will knock the wind out of your lungs, drop you to your knees, and test the very core of your will. But what you have to understand is that setbacks are not the enemy. They are the setup for something greater. The delay is not a denial. The detour is not a dead end. The pain you're experiencing is not punishment. It's preparation. Too often, people interpret failure as a sign to quit, as proof that they weren't meant for more. But the truth is, failure is feedback. It's life's way of refining your character, toughening your resolve, and preparing you to carry the weight of the success you're striving for. Nothing great is ever built without struggle, and every step backward is a setup for a stronger comeback. Most people want elevation without resistance, growth without adversity, and success without sacrifice. But that's not how it works. The ones who rise are the ones who learn how to turn every wound into wisdom, every loss into a lesson. Setbacks force you to confront yourself in ways that comfort never could. They show you your flaws, your blind spots, your weaknesses, but not to shame you, because you can't conquer the mountain if you're not strong enough to climb it. And strength doesn't come from ease. It comes from tension, from pressure, from pushing through the moments that make you want to give up. So when life sets you back, don't curse it, study it. Ask, what is this trying to teach me? That shift in perspective is what transforms victims into victors. When you learn to see setbacks as setups, you stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. You stop wasting energy on regret and start using that energy to rebuild. The most powerful people in this world are not the ones who never failed. They're the ones who turn failure into fuel. They're the ones who got knocked down and refused to stay there. They're the ones who looked at rock bottom and said, now I have a foundation to build on. When life closes a door, it's not the end of the hallway. It's an invitation to look for the door you were meant to walk through. And sometimes the setback is necessary, because if you had kept going in the direction you were headed, you would have missed the real destination. You see, pain gives birth to clarity. When things fall apart, when your plans shatter, when people betray you, or you fall short of your own expectations, that's when your real character is revealed. And more importantly, that's when your new character is developed. You become more focused, more disciplined, more resilient. You stop taking things for granted. You appreciate the grind. You build a level of hunger that can't be taught in comfort. That fire, that grit, that internal refusal to quit, it's forged in the furnace of your setbacks. And once you've been through it, once you've survived the storm and come out stronger, you become a force that nothing can shake. Every setback carries with it an opportunity to build deeper roots, to become mentally stronger, emotionally wiser, and spiritually unshakable. Think of every great story you've ever heard. None of them were straight line journeys. Every hero faced hardship. Every legend was once broken. Every success had its scars. What separated them from the rest wasn't talent. It was the ability to keep going when everything inside them said to stop. They didn't let their failure define them. They let it refine them. And that decision to use pain as power, to use loss as leverage, is what elevated them beyond anything comfort could have produced. So the next time you face a setback, don't panic. Don't retreat. Don't start questioning your worth. Step back and see it for what it really is: a setup, a divine redirection. a disguised opportunity. Because life is not trying to break you, it's trying to make you unbreakable. What feels like a curse today will often be the blessing that changes everything tomorrow, but only if you refuse to stay down. Only if you decide to rise again, smarter, stronger, and more relentless than ever before. They tried to humiliate you. They laughed when you failed. They dismissed your dreams like they were foolish fantasies, but you didn't crumble. You took the hit in silence. You swallowed the pain not as poison, but as fuel. Because you'd understood something they never will. Real power doesn't announce itself. Real revenge isn't loud. It's a quiet, focused grind that no one sees coming. Let them mock. Let them talk. Let them throw dirt on your name, because while they're busy tearing you down with their words, you're building something they can't touch with their hands. And when you emerge stronger, sharper, transformed, they'll be forced to face the reality they never saw coming, your results. There is nothing more powerful than the person who chooses discipline over drama. The one who refuses to clap back, who doesn't explain, who says nothing, but outworks everyone in the room. Because results can't be denied. They silence critics. They erase doubt. They make the same people who once overlooked you turn their heads in disbelief. Revenge through success is a different kind of weapon. It doesn't create more chaos. It shuts it down. You don't have to tell them you're coming. You don't have to justify your process. Just keep rising, keep building, keep becoming. And one day your results will do what your words never could. Make the world respect your name. Revenge fueled by ego leads to destruction, but revenge fueled by purpose leads to elevation. You don't want to destroy them. You want to rebuild yourself so powerfully that their opinions no longer carry weight. You want to stand on a stage they swore you'd never reach, and let your success whisper, I did it without you. Let the work be louder than the wound. Let your transformation scream louder than their betrayal. The real win isn't making them feel small. It's making yourself so unshakably great that their presence or their absence no longer defines your worth. That's the level of growth you aim for. That's how you let your results speak louder than any response ever could. People are addicted to the quick response, the clapback, the momentary victory of proving someone wrong with words. But words fade. What lasts are the results that shift your entire life. The house you built when they thought you were broken. The business you launched when they counted you out. The body you built. The skills you mastered. The life you elevated while they were still watching from the sideline. That is the revenge that leaves a mark, not out of spite, but out of undeniable achievement. Let your life become the answer. Let your actions speak so clearly that even your enemies are forced to applaud. You've got to understand that some people want you to lose, not because they hate you, but because your rise threatens the excuses they've built their life around. You growing exposes their comfort. You evolving exposes their stagnation. So they'll do everything they can to distract you, discourage you, and destroy your confidence. Don't take the bait. Don't play the same game. Rise above it by staying committed to your mission. The higher you climb, the quieter you need to become. Because silence backed by progress is the most deafening sound in the world. And once they hear it, once they see it, it'll shake everything they thought they knew about you. You don't need revenge in the traditional sense. You don't need to stoop to their level. What you need is to rise to yours. Let your elevation be your retaliation. Let your peace be your proof. Let the healed, focused, unbothered version of you be the one who walks into every room and leaves no doubt. You're not here to argue. You're not here to relive the pain. You're here to rewrite the story. And you do that not by fighting the same battles, but by creating a life so full of purpose, discipline, and excellence that your presence alone becomes a statement. Let your results be your revenge.